Hi, so welcome to the second video that's covering introductions. So last time we talked about how we slowly took over some of the caring responsibilities for the children, and then we got to the point where they moved in. And that first day, there's a little video of us that we posted of us going to get the kids, which was our last
Mm.
journey without them. And then we brought them back home, and it was quite a nice day, wasn't it? Really?
It was. It was. We done some cooking. They explored the bedrooms. We played some games. We've got videos of our son half of his body in a toy box, and all you can see is his legs. And our daughter just poodling around in her bedroom.
Yeah, so we'd got the kids for a while, and the foster carers came sort of halfway through the day, and then we had dinner with the foster carers.
Mm.
So that was like another thing. oh, in the introduction plan, you need time to actually do stuff like shopping and stuff like that. But we had a roast. It was a Sunday, I
Mm.
recall. We had a Sunday roast, um, but the kids didn't eat very much.
No, probably because at the time we didn't think the nerves, the excitement, the worries, the stress.
And there was a lot at play in our son's in particular head, but probably in our daughter's, but it played out more in our son. Because what had happened in his head was we'd taken him away from the first safe place he'd ever known. He was really excited, he was scared, he was nervous, he was worried. So there was all of this emotion going on in his head, and he didn't eat because he was got all of that emotion going on, didn't eat very much. So we got towards the end of the day, and the foster carers were staying in a hotel literally half a mile up the road. I
Mm.
don't think it was even that far. So we then started off with a bedtime routine, which all sort of went okay. My daughter was at the point where she needed a bottle before she went to bed, and we did all that, put her to bed, and then put our son to bed.
Yes.
That's where the wheels came off.
Yes. I wouldn't say the wheels came off. I would say it was a multiple car crash. Um, it was a tsunami. I can't remember what happened leading up to it. All I remember is either me or you went into the bedroom.
Well, I went and did story with him because you
Mm.
put Lily to bed, so we used to alternate who did who. Um, I did story, and then he just started to dysregulate after story time.
Dysregulate's a very mild word to
Yeah,
use.
he got really. I don't even know how to describe it. He was jumping up and down on the bed. He was really angry. He didn't know at that point how to like communicate his feelings or anything, and so he was really angry. There was a Fireman Sam decal that we put on the wall, and he started ripping that off. He
The,
started throwing
the
toys.
easiest way to explain it is if you remember the old cartoon Tasmanian Devil, when he's spinning round, that's basically what our son was doing. He was just zooming around his entire bedroom, and things were being thrown out, they was being thrown at us, they was being thrown onto the landing. Meanwhile, our daughter is in the
Fast asleep.
land of nod, fast asleep. um we had to call the foster carers and said, look, please come over, this is going wrong. When the foster carers come over, the first reassuring thing they said to us was, we've never seen him like this before, we have no idea what to do. And it was like, oh god.
But then we got to the point where we got four adults in his bedroom, didn't know what to do, and I can't remember what time it was, probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we ended up it got that. So this had all started about 6:30, so it was quite intense for like
Mm.
3 hours. And then we phoned up our social worker, and we're like, we don't know what to do. What do we do? And she said, take him out of the room. And we've got four grown adults trying to deal with the situation, and just hadn't thought about just moving him to somewhere else. So we did, and we took him downstairs.
And he basically confessed to us saying that he was hungry. So we cooked him some food. we put the TV on, and I think it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. He eventually settled.
And then woke up the next day, and it was like nothing had happened.
Yeah. He
Um,
didn't recall any of it.
And so, we just sort of carried on, and that was the day that we broke our daughter.
Yes. Yeah. We went to a National Trust property, and I'd ordered
With the foster carers.
with the foster carers to say goodbyes, and excuse me, viewers, I ordered a black coffee, and you got some strawberries, and our daughter, basically, cut a long story short, went to grab the strawberries. Instead of grabbing the strawberries, knocked my freshly made black coffee all over her arm, causing more or less second-degree burns.
And the most intense scream you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, and I'm running around this National Trust trying to find a freaking tap to run it under cold water for 10 minutes. It was, and then obviously I had to take her to A&E, which, for looked after children, as soon as you present a looked after child to A&E, they say, right, okay, so we're going to raise the safeguarding now. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Why are you doing the safeguarding? It was an accident. No, we do this for looked after children. So
Because at that point, you're still prospective adopters. You haven't
Mm.
adopted the children. You're in this weird land because you're not foster carers, and you're sort of going through that adoption process. So you have to have letters with you about emergency health care and provision and stuff. Because actually the people responsible for the children still at that point are the local authority. So you've got all of that to go through, haven't you? And you sort of feel like like when you're under the microscope.
yeah.
So I was back at home with our son.
Mm.
We had a little picnic in the garden. I'm trying desperately not to be worried in front of him, whilst at the same time John is at the hospital with our daughter. So you've got all of that going on.
It's a whole new experience taking a child to A&E. I mean, since then we've earned air miles, and we're quite hardened travellers now to the A&E. Well, one of us is a hardened traveller to the A&E with a child.
Well, as you said today to somebody, I do the school stuff, you do the health stuff.
Yes, but in relation to the schools, you don't have to wait 7.5 hours to see a teacher. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. But so we got to the end of the day. They came back home, and it's the first time we've been to A&E more with our daughter than our son. I would say.
Yes.
But then we edged towards bedtime again in the evening, and unsurprisingly, it started to kick off again at bedtime. And we thought this could be just a way of him wanting to come downstairs, eat again, and watch the TV for a while. So we instituted at that point the chill out step.
The chill out step, yeah.
And so you might have, remember the naughty step with Super Nanny, wasn't it, when stuff years ago? But the chill out step, we would sit together on the step, so we weren't abandoning them. We were sitting with them to calm them down and get them to a point where we could talk about what happened. And that worked really well for us for a few years, didn't it?
But we also made it very clear that, the boundary is, please don't think that when you come downstairs, you're going in and watching TV. This is where you're going. So we can sit here all night if need be, but you're not going to be going to watch TV when it should be bedtime. So having those strong boundaries was quite important.
Yeah, so and then over the next few nights, it started to get better, didn't it? And we started. Our daughter would always be straight to bed asleep, and she'd be asleep till like 7 o'clock the next morning. Our son struggled getting to sleep consistently, still does now, 5 years later. But we don't have the same issues that we used to have then. And I think that's about setting the boundaries and making sure that everybody's safe.
And we haven't had any violent outbursts at night. We just have strops instead, which is progress.
That's what children do.
Yeah.
So I think that probably covers like that first couple of days, doesn't it? I think next
mhm.
we may talk about school.
Yeah, looking at schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, plenty to say on that subject. But thank you very much. Please remember, like, subscribe, comment something. If you want to send us a message, then please do so. We're happy to answer any questions. And that's it from us today.
That's it.